Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. How are you? Morning on this beautiful day. Hello to everybody. Hello, hello. It is another beautiful day. My little cup of joy, made from fresh squeezed joys. No, I'm just kidding. It's coffee. You know it's coffee. Come on. Good morning, John. How are you this morning? Jeff, good morning to you. Glad you're with us. Karen, hello, hello. Hope you're having a glorious morning on this chilly morning. The first little frost warning in town for the people with still gardens clinging on and the like. So the world continues to move. The stars are in the sky, the planets are spinning, you know, all manner of good things. Good morning. Good morning, Vicky. Glad you're here. Good morning, everyone. Cooking Wall is very nice. Beautiful. That sounds right to me. I love that. That's very lovely. Good morning, Kristen. How are you? Hope you're doing well this morning. Glad you're here. So, hope everybody's doing all right. Give it one more, see a few more folks coming along here. Jamie Battles, everybody. Hello, hello. Great to see you. Glad you're here. So, good morning, everyone. Irene, good morning. Hello. Hi. Glad you've made it as well. And all of those of you out there that are hiding out or not saying hi this morning, or and especially to Doris, who's still healing up. Grace and love and peace to her. So, good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. This morning, I want to begin this morning, as is our tradition, that if I find out you have a birthday and that you are here regularly, I will sing happy birthday to you. And I know it is Cecile's birthday, and I hope she is with us this morning. She hasn't said hi yet, but I bet she is. If not, Kristen is here, so she can carry our greetings. But I will seek to sing happy birthday to you. Which is my continued promise. So, yeah, if you don't like this part, just keep cooking or whatever it is that you're doing. We'll be fine, and we'll come back around. Hey, good morning, Donna. So this is for Cecile. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Cecile. Happy birthday to you. All right, there you go. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope it's beautiful and wonderful and good. All right. These are the things we do here. So this is what happens. So welcome. Kristen, I'll tell her, great, thank you. Please do. So, Jamie, prayers for the passing of classmate Minister Johnson. Oh, we will hold John and his family in our prayers. Oh, that's all right, friends. There is good morning to you. It is the 9th day of November on this Wednesday at 11:11. In this everly increasing cooling world of chilliness that our season is coming into, and all the things that this incumbent moving into the darkness means, all of it. And so I just want to remind us a little bit about what it is and how it is that we can endure difficult things. I want to give you a tool today. I want to offer you a thing you can do in the spiritual life that is a part of and will help to heal the wounds or the despair or the encroaching darkness of these days. With the time change over the weekend, I really felt yesterday afternoon of just the crush of darkness that came in at like 4 o'clock. I'm like, oh boy, this is getting, and I mean that's all the natural world, and we'll contend with that. There are manner of dark things that would come around and would scurry off with little pieces of our heart or little intentions of our being, and little or inject anxieties where there need not be them. So in all of that, I wanted to just this morning offer you a tool to be able to negotiate the things ahead of you. And this comes from the Apostle Paul, not a bad authority. So and Paul says this in the 12th chapter of the book of Romans. So this is again Paul's letter to the church in Rome. Paul is likely in prison while he is writing this. He has endured all manner of suffering and difficulty and all sorts of things. He knows what he's talking about. Like he has some serious street cred when it comes to maintaining a spiritual life in the midst of difficulties in the world. He has legitimate strength in this. In fact, it's one of my there's a lot of things I question about Paul, or I have questions about, or so in the epistles, and Paul's an interesting cat no matter how you slice it. But the one thing that I think Paul offers us more than anything better is just some practical spiritual tools of cultivating spiritual gifts. He talks about that, but and accepting and receiving these gifts and using these gifts, but also just how to endure, man. Just how to get through the hard things. And even in the middle of the beautiful things, how to appreciate maybe some of the beautiful things in the midst of it. And he says this is Romans 12, verse 9 and 10, very short, but I think actually offers us an incredibly powerful spiritual practice if we're willing to take it up. And especially when things are other than we would want them to be, especially when there's affliction going on. So hear this. He says, love must be sincere, hate what is evil, cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. So there's about 4 little instructions there, but I actually just want to talk about one of them, maybe 2 of them. But I want to talk about this dichotomy. Well, first he says love must be sincere. So I don't know about your spiritual life, but my spiritual life is filled with ideas and notions about how I should be good. Right, we're busy. We're busy shooting all over ourselves. Like that's an easy mark, and it's an easy mark for the devils to get a hold of us with. There really is. Like it's easy to be like, oh, I should do that. Well, now I can feel bad about the fact that I'm not doing that. That our loves. That the first thing we have to do about love is be sincere. And sometimes that means we can't love all the things we think we should love, that we think we should be able to muster up. I should be able to like my child because they're my child, or I should be able to like my spouse or my partner because they're my spouse or my partner. Or I should be able to love my job because it's a good job and I do it. Sometimes, even though we should be able to do things that are right in front of us, sometimes they're hard. Sometimes they're difficult. Sometimes things aren't going smoothly or well or things. And the first thing Paul's telling us here is love must be sincere. So if we're not able to love a particular thing at a particular moment, if our emotional life is being a blocker to that, to not get into the idea of like, oh well, that you need to fix that, and you're not a holy person until you do, and really God will hate you and you'll be cast into a pit of fire because you're cultivating all these evil things in your heart, and it's an easy off to the races kind of how horrible are we. But I think what Paul's pointing to is the invitation to dig the well deeper. Sometimes we have frustrations with the people in our lives. Sometimes we have frustrations with the conditions of our lives. Sometimes when our lives are not as we would want them to be, or even when we can't muster in our hearts, we're angry, depressed, sad, whatever. That in those moments is to actually go exploring for the sincere love. Because the thing is if you've got a person in front of you that you're frustrated with, or a situation in front of you that you're frustrated with, or a problem that you're frustrated with in front of you, the thing is that frustration is not the end of the story. In fact, the only reason you're having a reaction to it, or you're having a problem with it, or the fact that you're maybe depressed and that you can't move, or the fact that you're anxious and your head is filled going 1,000 miles an hour, whatever it is, whatever the condition, that under those conditions exist because there is sincere loves at work in there somewhere. Because even if you're being a horrible partner, or even if you're filled with anxiety, there is a part of you or there's a place in there where that is contending with something else, that there's actually a contention going on, and that's creating all of this kerfuffle going on inside you. So the first invitation is go looking for the sincere love. To go looking for the things for the thing that you're really hoping for, or the thing that you would really want, or the thing that even if it's not present, to go looking for it inside your heart, to go looking for it inside your mind, to go looking for a thought that feels better than the thought that you're into. And then his instruction is this, and this is where I really wanted to take us, which is to hate what is evil and to cling to what is good. Friends, I think that the spiritual life is really about, on a day-to-day level, on an hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute, life by life, life moment by life moment, is is cultivating and working our real and true desire to cling to what is good. Doesn't mean we always pull it off. Doesn't mean we're not all right and all put together in it. But there is a part of us that loves what is good. There's a part of us that loves the good stuff in this life. Whether it's like Vicky making a meal and enjoying that meal on the very corporeal, physical level, or whether it's reaching out to a friend that's hurting and offering them consolation, whether it's soothing our own wounds or caring for our own soul when our soul needs caring for, rather than just beating letting the beatings continue until morale improves. That there's a way in which we have within us the capacity to love what is good, and to go looking for that, to go looking and to cling to it. Paul uses this word cling, and I like it. Like the way you take something out of the dryer and there's that sheet, that dryer sheet that's just stuck to it by static electricity, that we need to charge ourselves in such a way that we cling to the good in our life. And it can be as simple as snuggling with our dog. It can be as simple as making a good meal for ourselves. It can be as simple as that. We overthink this all the time, because remember, the perfect is the enemy of the good. We're always like, well, I should be so spiritual, and I'm a Christian, and Jesus loves me, so I should be perfect, and other things. None of that's real. None of that's real. None of that's possible. Hang it up. You are an ugly and barbaric creature on the inside. I know I looked. And yet, through incredible grace, there is all this goodness that surrounds that. Now, I hope you take that in the spirit of this whole thing. I don't want a Clips channel starting, because I don't want that to be the signature moment here. But you get what I'm saying, is that we should cling to what is good. And so if you're struggling today, Go find something good. You know, one of my favorite little authors way back when was a guy by the name of Patrick O'Brian, and Patrick O'Brian wrote all of these sea novels. He's his main character is Captain Aubrey, who is this kind of bellicose character. He's kind of like a younger version of C.S. Forrester in the Hornblower series. I mean, if none of this means anything, it doesn't matter because but the whole point is he was a very prolific guy and so in and so he would but he had said this about writer's block once. He said, I found that writer's block is best cured by a long walk, a good meal, and a good night's sleep. Now, here's this prolific writer who wrote all this stuff and who and in the midst of contending with the resistance of his life, what was his practice? He went back to just loving what is good. Like a good meal is good. A long walk is good. And I mean, if it's not the Bataan Death March, a long walk is good. A good night's sleep is what we're wired to do. And now that's all physical stuff, but it's true on every level of being. That we can ally ourselves. We can, there's an entire framework of Japanese therapy, psychological treatment, which is about taking somebody, particularly people who are depressed, and putting them to work helping other people, either working people who are physically disabled or something like that. Because what they often find in those kind of contexts, people who are clinically depressed, that is actually becomes very difficult to maintain depression and care for another person. That's actually that they use this kind of practical effort of loving of being in the act of loving being in the act of loving what is good and those good actions in the world in order to actually treat the person who is in the midst of crisis. That person who been getting cared for would probably have some kind of caretaker somewhere, that it wasn't they needed to take care of them, but they were employed in that so that their own soul might be changed. St. Augustine says it this way, and I really love this because I think it really captures it almost as well as Paul. It's St. Augustine. It should. And he says, who can be good if not made so by loving? Who can be good if not made so by loving? The first letter in John tells us we love because we were first loved. God first loved us, which enables us to then love. But the question is where we take that as a zero defect mandate, and that should we fall down or should we not do it? It's none of that. It's actually an operational process. It's actually the long pilgrim's walk into the kingdom of God. It is actually the trail of both joy and tears through the course of a lifetime. That our affection, our loving what is loving, our loving the ability to just go do something good, to just cling to the good, as Paul tells us, that it begins to tinge our very soul. It tinges, and you've seen this in people. If you've sat with older people who you really kind of consider saintly in some manner, who have been transformed by this process over time, you see it that we become marinated, that even our wants and our desires actually have tinged within them goodness itself. That there's this way that affection changes us. It doesn't make us a better. Like, again, the foundational misunderstanding of Christianity is that Jesus came here to make you better. Jesus came to make you different. That Jesus came to transform our worst selves into our very best selves. That we, with loving what is good, and in that goodness, we begin to experience its delight and its pleasantness. And then more happiness and blessedness comes from that. We talk about anybody who can get in a downward spiral. But the reality, the idea that, you have a negative thought and then you kind of feel bad about yourself and then you can feel bad, so then you eat a brownie and then you can feel worse about yourself for eating a brownie. And then and then you have a glass of wine and you feel worse about yourself for having a glass of wine, then you kick the dog and then you can feel worse about yourself for kicking the dog. Like we all know the downward spiral. I don't need to explain it to you. Well, friends, what Paul is inviting us to is the upward spiral. What Paul is inviting us to, and that its practice is simply this: is clinging to the good things in your life, wherever you find them, and where you honestly find them, not where you think you should find them. Hear me with that. Not where you think you should find them, but the good places where you find them, and be devoted to them in each other, and honoring one another in the process. To me, that is high spiritual practice. Anybody can go on a meditation retreat and, contemplate their navel. Anybody can go, fast and pray and all that sort of stuff. This, to me, is the real practice of being alive and being a child of God, made in the image of God, being called into this life of abundant love that God has for us, that will fill us and tinge our very being to be filled with goodness, if we but cling to goodness first. Who can be good if not made so by loving? Friends, my hope is you'll find something good in your day, whether it's making a meal, whether it's wishing Cecile a happy birthday, whether it is, I don't care what it is. And I don't care how base it might be for you, or how basic. The love of a child, the smile of an infant, the joy of a first word spoken, the wonder of a good meal, the joy, the love of and the beauty of a sunset. I don't care where it is you find it, but let it be genuine and sincere, and let it and resonate with your being and your heart, not the being in the heart that you think it's supposed to resonate with. And cling to it for a moment and see what happens. See if not your being is tinged for a moment towards all good things. See if in it you don't find happiness and blessing. And that if you don't find happiness and blessing, begin to magnify all the things around you in your life. Not just as you're having this warm, chocolatey, happy experience inside you, but that it begins to tinge all the other things and all the other people and all the other ways that you come in contact with the world. Friends, in Paul's words, love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love, and honor one another above yourselves. All right, friends, that's my hope for you today. Hey, Cecile made it. Happy birthday. I hope you are all well and good and whole today, and that you're finding some goodness in your day. We'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11. Peace and grace, my friends.